We can just talk a little about this week until we had family come over.
All right. Well, we're recording now. So, welcome back to No Milk. I believe this is going to be number
4?
No.
5?
5 or 6. 5. Maybe 5. Yeah, a lot's been going on. Been kind of busy, so but we're getting back on schedule. As you guys can see, my brother's still fat. Had to rearrange the cameras. And there's like 4 cameras to produce this image right now. But yeah, we're ready to go. So my brother's going to be leading this one with some stories that I remember vaguely, but he remembers more because he has all that memory space in that big gigantic head.
Bro, but also part of it it's because at that time you were a really young, super fat person. That's why.
Maybe.
Because you're my baby brother. Baby brother.
That's right, baby. As you guys can see, one of us is clearly much smaller than the other.
You obviously see
Well,
it, bro.
you definitely have the baby arms. I'll give you that. So,
All right, well, I want to talk about just a few things. So first of all, just kind of an update. So today's Mother's Day. So all of you mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. And my brother and I, we really have 2 mothers. And have we showed them? We drew them so that people know they're almost the exact same being. Oh, bro. No joke. Did you hear Crystal's mother-in-law?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This is...
That.
You tell that one. You go tell that
This was literally today. One of our cousins from Houston came over, and she brought her mom and her mother-in-law over. So we're there. My grandpa barbecued for us, and we're just eating, having a good time for several hours. And so her name was Kim, right?
Kim. Mm-hmm.
Kim. So Kim, this is her first time meeting all of us. She probably never heard of us before. Maybe my grandparents, because my cousin was really close to our grandparents. But she's just meeting all of us for the first time, and you guys know how it is when you first meet somebody. Like, yeah, we all told you your names and, introduce ourselves, but you probably, after 5 seconds, already forgot, which is fine. It happens to most people. So we all introduced ourselves as we're coming in, and she had already met my grandparents and stuff, but it was more me, my mom, and everybody who came after. And we're telling her all these stories and stuff, about our family, and we're just having a great time. And we're telling her about our mom, our actual mom. And at this point, our mom's in the kitchen. I think, were we serving food at the time or something? I don't know, but she was in the kitchen. Yeah. And our grandma's on the couch, sitting on the couch. And I forgot what we told her.
It was diabetes.
Oh, the diabetes, because we were talking about how we all had diabetes, or not all of us, but our mom had diabetes. Right, I had diabetes. So she's like, "Oh, you have diabetes?" to my grandma. And we kind of like laughed, and we're looking at her like, "Oh, like no, that's our grandma, our mom." Like, "Oh, I thought that was your mom." And so the whole day, like, she was saying like, "Oh yeah, y'all look like twins," like to my mom and to my grandma. Like, I can see it, y'all look exactly alike. And but she was legitimately confused. So, yes. We say these stories, oh, they look alike, and we can't tell them apart, jokingly, but it's secretly not a joke. It's real. People get confused. They don't know which one's which.
It's now been confirmed. They are twins.
Confirmed. They're the exact same person. Actually, goes beyond twins. So, yeah, that was pretty funny.
One existence, yes. Yeah, that was really funny. Obviously, we had to introduce her to our family. So we've mentioned this before, but as a reminder, the love language in our family is insults. So you have to be quick. You either have to take it, you have to be good at giving it, or you just be able to laugh, because we don't take stuff too seriously. We like to laugh in our home.
Yeah, except for my brother. He's very serious about eating, as you can see.
Bro.
He's super serious. Super. Get him a little cape and he's super fat.
So one of the wanted to share 3 stories. It might be a little bit short today, but it's okay. Coming back after vacation and we're kind of lazy, so yeah. So one of them is the concept of Time Lords. Now, some of you may have Time Lords in your family. We definitely have Time Lords in our family, and I'm going to tell you, it's not limited to just ladies, because one of my uncles is a Time Lord, my mother is a Time Lord, and my wife is a Time Lord. And so y'all might have some others out there, but let me give you the characteristics of a Time Lord. So first characteristic, they're never on time. It doesn't matter how much time you give them, they need a plus so many minutes. So I figured out my wife is a plus 30 minutes Time Lord. I give her 6 days to get ready, she needs 6 days and 30 minutes. I give her 3 hours to get ready, she needs 3 hours and 30 minutes. So she is a plus 30 minutes Time Lord. Bro, you have more experience trying to get your mom places on time. What's her plus Time Lord?
So recently, and it's usually only when we're going to grandma's. Other times, like, I don't care. It's like, all right, whenever she's ready, it happens. But whenever we're going to grandma's, I'll set my alarm specifically to wake her up, so that way, hey, we're supposed to be at grandma's at 12. It's 11 now. At least get in the shower, because she takes a long time in the restroom.
Yes.
So even when she's rushing and she knows she's got to be somewhere at 12 and it's 11 now, and even though that place is 2 minutes down the street, if I would legitimately let her go on her own, she'd be getting in like 12:30. That's when she would start getting ready to be somewhere at 12. The thing about my grandparents is they are very punctual. My brother's very punctual. His wife, not so much. So when they say, hey, come over for lunch at 12, we probably should have been there at 11:50 at least. You know, that's that early thing. But they know with my mom, if they say 12, it's like 12:30. It's the same, about 30 minutes. But I have to get up early to make sure that she gets up and starts getting ready, because if I don't do that, she'll wait till the very last minute, and then she's like, oh, I forgot this, and I was like, dude, that's why, like, you should have did it earlier. Because me, if I'm supposed to be somewhere at 12 and I wake up at 11:55, I'll get in the shower, do my thing, get dressed. By 11:57, I'm out the door, and I'm talking about my grandparents. Like, and then I'm over there at 11:59. Like, literally 4 or 5 minutes. Real quick shower, get dressed. You know, that's it. And if I'm supposed to bring stuff, then I'll get up a little bit earlier. But I only do that now because of your mom.
Bro, your mom is for sure a Time Lord. Oh, I also figured out my son is a Time Lord, and my son's mother is a Time Lord. So we're surrounded by Time Lords. So here's the other characteristic about a Time Lord. The only way they're going to be on time is if you lie to them about the start time. This is the only one. Now, there are some whose powers may be so advanced, they know you're lying to them, and they're still going to be late. But, here's another few more characteristics about Time Lords. They choose the absolute worst time to start doing things that are going to take a lot of time. Let me give you an example. We have to leave in 5 minutes so we can be on time. Your sister-in-law decides, oh, you know what? Let me start putting some clothes to clean and to wash, and let me start cleaning the room. Let me start, building a rocket. Bro, stuff like that. Like, stuff that's going to take forever. Decides, I'm going to do it in the last 5 minutes. And
building the rocket, even when she's done building it, it's to go to the opposite direction of wherever they need to go, just because, no specific reason.
Yes. So those are Time Lords, people. So if y'all have some, just remember #Time Lord. Yes. So they existed way before Doctor Who. Okay. Doctor Who's a Time Lord, but no, we know Time Lords, and they exist in our family for sure. So they're never on time. You give them the start time, and they have a plus time that they're going to be there. The only way for them to be on time is for you to lie to them, and they're going to start at the worst time to start doing things that take a while to complete. So that's first of all. Okay, so I just wanted to introduce you guys to the concept of Time Lords, because Yeah, I want you to start thinking about your time, and we don't get it back. But Time Lords take it, all of it, all of your
Take
time,
all
plus
of
their
the
time.
extra time is theirs.
Oh man! So last time we were talking about our grandmother, and our grandmother is the greatest storyteller in existence, the greatest. So if you guys ever seen movies and it says based on a true story, so all of my grandma's stories come from the perspective of based on a true story.
Based.
There could be one element that's true, and everything else is hyperbole and Hollywood writing. That's my grandmother. So we don't really know what's true, but it's based on a true story.
It's not Hollywood. It's the Bollywood.
The Bollywood.
The Bollywood writing. If you guys, I'm pretty sure most of you guys know what those are, but basically, what's that one place? They're India, right?
Mm-hmm.
From Bali or something like that. It's literally a place that they make just these over the top extreme movies from India, and I'm sure you guys have seen clips on them. You know, one famous clip I remember is the girls falling off the second story from like a little mansion type thing balcony that's just over the hallway, right? And then this guy's like all the way across the mansion, and she's falling in slow motion. This guy's like running and like jumping over people, and then she's still falling, and then like he slides on his knees like 30 yards and then ends up catching her. Stuff
Yes.
like that. Bollywood productions.
Bro, speaking of those, some of my favorite ones, bro, are the martial arts ones, bro.
I remember
Those are the
we
greatest martial arts.
I remember we
scenes.
watched one with grandma and she's like, "Oh yeah, good movie." I remember that.
It's probably because we told her there was a Mexican in it, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, our grandma, anything Mexican, she loves that movie. It's the greatest movie in existence.
That is true.
Yes. So she's amazing in her storytelling, and not only will she tell it once, but she'll wait for you to tell it, and as soon as you're done, she's gonna translate it, the same story, into Spanish.
But that's not it. Her original story, which was already probably altered, that you said maybe exactly, and then she retranslates it. There's even more stuff added to that new story.
Every time. The funniest thing is that we're there for the story, and then we hear her. So we have a couple terms that we use in our family. One of those terms is chisme, or the cheese. So those of you Mexicans who know Spanish out there, chisme, that's the gossip. The gossip. So we talk about the cheese, and Grandma's hilarious because we'll tell the story, and then she'll get on the phone with one of our other family members, and we're listening to her tell the story, and we're like, it's not how it happened. But all right, Grandma, go ahead. We don't say anything. We just listen because it's a good time. So one of the first stories that started this was when my uncle is 6 years older than me, and then I'm 8 years older than my brother. And so my uncle was in middle school, so I was in elementary school at this time. And he was playing football, and he got injured. Now my uncle has always been, I mean, you know, we're all relatively short. My brother is, you're 5'8", bro? 5'9"? I'm 5'7". My uncle's 5'4",
Yeah.
5'3", something like that. And so he's always been a rather thin guy. So he was really skinny in middle school and short, and he was playing football, and he ended up injuring. He ended up fracturing his pinky. Well, if you guys know Mexican mothers, she had half his body, upper body, wrapped in a cast. So legit, like the whole arm, like right here, and his whole arm couldn't move, bro. It was the whole arm, the hands, everything in the cast, just for a pinky fracture, bro. So we wanted to hear the story because my uncle got hurt. Obviously, I'm little, so you know I remember some of it. But what I remember most of it is how over the years the story changed. So the first time she tells the story, bro, what happens is they put these big kids playing against him to try to tackle him, bro. They must have been like 300-pound, what are you, like 11 in 7th grade or something like that? 300 pounds. So half of you, bro, had one half of your weight against our uncle. They disappear. Oh, okay. So, anyways, that was the first time, bro. The second time she tells the story, bro, they now become college age athletes, like
They're-
600 pounds.
They're from Texas, the University of Texas at Austin.
Yes.
Some of the best linemen, and yeah,
Bro, they were getting ready for the draft. They were about to be drafted, and they were scrimmaging because my uncle was so good, bro. So they had to scrimmage against him to practice, and then afterwards they made it to the NFL. So you might know some of them. Some of them, like Warren Sapp, bro. That was one of them.
yeah.
So, but no, and then, bro, the third time, I swear, bro. I swear the third time, it's kind of vague, but I'm pretty sure there were some dragons in there. Some mythical creatures. Might have been some giants from Game of Thrones, bro.
And then
pretty sure.
the robot football one from, I don't know if you remember Fox Sports. They had the little robot
Yes.
NFL player. Yeah, and again, he's still in middle school.
Yes.
But all of these elements tag team together to fracture his pinky, specifically to fracture his pinky. They weren't even playing football anymore. He was the only one playing football trying to score, and they're like, "No, we gotta fracture his pinky." And the dragons and the
So
giants
to stop
rode
it, bro.
in,
And that's the origin story of Blitz.
yeah, he's literally Blitz, and it would have been about that time too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, because what is uncle? He's like 42, 43.
Mm-hmm.
And this happened late 90s, and that's when Blitz came out. Yeah, this was about 25 years ago, maybe.
So adding on to that story, several years ago now, we were recalling such events, and I remember us talking to my wife, and my wife, sometimes she has these laughing fits where she just, like, you can't hear her, but she just starts crying.
Yeah,
And she tries to tell you the story, but she can't. She just keeps lying, and she's crying. She's getting all hot, turning all red. And you know it's serious because my wife is dark. My wife is chocolate, so when she gets red, yeah.
When she turns into, was it red velvet?
So we were telling the story, and then we are talking about, like, you know, because we get more ridiculous. So we're like, oh, yeah, you know, he got hurt. Then he got a whole body cast.
Full body
And then they
cast.
put him in an iron lung.
They
put it-
wired his jaw
Wired
shut.
his jaw shut. And then that's what got her. Oh, man, she must have been laughing for like 20 minutes. And so, yeah, that's how my uncle became the Bionic Man.
Yeah.
The $1 million man.
What is it now? I think they're recreating it. It's gonna be the $6 billion man,
Yes.
because it was a $6 million man, I think. Yeah,
Bro,
all from his pinky.
Bro, can you imagine if they did a $6 million man today? Bro, that man would have like one kneecap. Like, that's it. That's how expensive it is. It's like, I take it. Blocking bullets with a kneecap, bro.
Dang.
Yeah.
But that short little side note about my sister-in-law, your wife, bro. So she has those laughing fits, and it's legitimately funny. But to her, like, she's dying, she can't breathe, and she's, I don't know, it's just super funny to her, and it's like funny to all of us. But there'll be times where we're talking, and we share a lot of stories all the time. All the time we're saying stories, and, you know, our daily lives, it's funny. So we're always sharing these stories, and we'll be sharing the story, and she'll start laughing like crazy, and it's like, what is it? And it'll be something completely random that she remembered from, like, you know, a conversation we had months ago or even a year ago. She's like, no, I was just thinking about, like, what? How? But it's funny too, because she gets in those fits again. She can't breathe. She's dying, and we don't know if it's something that we currently said, or if it's something that we talked about months ago or even years ago that she suddenly remembered. That is super hilarious. But it'd be like that sometimes. Like, haha, that was funny, right? It's like, no, I'm laughing about that one time a long time ago, and I
6 months
just
ago.
remembered again. It's like, what?
Bro, it's so hard, though, because we have so much good stuff, man, that we talk about. Bro, do you remember when we were talking about how poor we were when we were little? And we were making about the name brand cereals?
Yeah, we were poor. We would get government assistance.
Now, hold on, just real quick. Bro, it was back in the day, so that's when we had the Monopoly money,
Yes.
food stamps, bro.
The actual stamps
Yes,
from
the colored,
food stamps.
colored money.
And we joke around that we didn't even get the generic versions. We would get like the generic versions. We have like Great Value now, and I'm not knocking on all this stuff, but we would get some versions of like, huh? Like, what?
Yeah.
Somebody make this in the back of their house generic? Like,
we didn't get Frosted Flakes, right? We got like lightly sprinkled wheat crisps.
and then what was the other one? Like, I remember like Smacks.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the name brand. We got like Stubbs or something, like Stub Toe or something.
Yeah. And then remember there was Fruity Pebbles, which is the name brand, and then like the off brand was like Dino Bites.
Dino Bites, I remember.
So this was, then what you said that the ones we got were called Homo Rocks.
Homo Rocks.
So,
We couldn't afford Fruity Pebbles or Dino Bites, so we would eat Homo Rocks.
oh
Yeah.
man,
Great times.
bro, we didn't even have Captain Crunch, bro. We had that Ethiopian guy from I'm the Captain Now.
We had Lieutenant Crisp.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Crisp. Yeah, no, it was bad. One thing I do remember is the cheese that we love, the big giant block of cheese.
I'll tell you what, the government did some good cheese, bro. I mean, I'm not sure much anymore because it's been a while since we've been on it, but man, I remember that cheese was so good. Like, people should trade that stuff. No joke. Trade that stuff. And then I remember always people like we would buy. Remember, our mom would buy food stamps.
Allegedly.
She would allegedly buy food stamps, and we get like $3 to $1 or $2 to $1, and so
Allegedly.
yes.
At the HEB on what is it? Is it Castroville Road? Castroville and Jenna McMullen. I'm pretty sure that's actually still a thing. I'm pretty sure. Allegedly.
Yes.
But yeah, no, the Homo Rocks. Those were my brother's favorite. Even now, he still gets Homo Rocks. It has nothing to do with cereal.
Yeah. So, bro, I already told you, listen, you're gay, it's okay, I still love you, bro. I told my son, listen, gay just happens, man. You don't have to be ashamed of it. Like, it's all right. I mean, look at your uncle. He's gay. He loves guys. It's all right. Still love him. It happens.
Look, man, $20 is in fact $20. And on Taco Tuesdays, it's like $30. But
Yes.
gotta get it where you get it from.
Bro, it was so funny. Like, I look at, like, I think about my son, and, like, man, they don't know what poverty is, bro. Like, all the time, everyone knows how, like, moms and grandmas are. Like, just always quick to defend their kids and their grandkids. I don't blame them. That's just the way it is. But I remember your mom, and she was like, well, it's not fair. How come he can't have this? And I'm like, Mom, we don't talk about fair. Fine. I was like, I'll let him have all the good stuff that I had, as long as he gets all the bad stuff that I had as well. Because I'm not going to do it halfway. So I always ask him, I was like, did you have cable? Because I didn't have cable, bro. I didn't have cable until I was old enough for us to buy it. Now, if your mom stole cable, bro, that's a different story.
It is different. Yeah, no. Your mom and her boyfriend allegedly stole cable. That's actually funny because I remember the cable box is still in our yard. It used to be a little different one. It used to be a little round one, and they upgraded it to a little rectangular one.
Yeah, they had to upgrade it.
And
no, bro, even before it turned to that, it was one of those vertical ones
Yeah.
first. Yeah.
I remember it's a little circle one. So it's in our yard, and I don't know how cable works now. I think it's very fairly similar. But they would have the cable box in your yard and a bunch of the old, I don't know what they're called, aux cable wires or something.
Yeah, the
auxiliary.
aux,
the one you screw on with the little wire that goes in and you screw it on. And just a bunch of them, like 30 or 40 of them, because the whole neighborhood would somehow be routed to that box. It just happened to be in our yard. And it wasn't until I was a little bit older that they started doing that, allegedly. Allegedly. You know, you had to have the little box converter inside, and they would allegedly run this cable cord, you know, just out the side of the wall of the house. That's probably why I have a bunch of holes in the wall that I can see directly outside. And you know, underground they dig a few inches. Allegedly, all of this is allegedly.
There's no confirmation this occurred.
And they would just, you know, screw it on. Well,
local legend, bro.
Local legend. And then, so the cable guy would come every couple of weeks because cable was fairly new to our neighborhood. It wasn't new, but we weren't a very, you know, wealthy neighborhood, so not everybody could afford cable.
I'm saying that we were poor.
Yes, we were poor. So as we're, you know, approaching the late 90s, early 2000s, more people could kind of afford cable, so the guys would come all the time. And then you have the rival companies, so all right, cool, they came for, you know, had them for a year, but now they're switching off, whatever, blah blah blah. So the cable guy was always in our yard. Well, he would, like, occasionally they would knock, like, hey, do you know you have this wire running to our box, and you know it's not authorized, we didn't put it. And we're just like, I don't know, like,
it's weird.
And
wow.
and they would threaten, like, oh, well, we're gonna cut it. I'm like, I don't know where this wire came from. Do what you need to do, sir. So then they would cut it, finish their install, and then allegedly that same night a new cord would be running from the house back into the box, and we would have cable again for a few more weeks or months at a time.
I was just thinking, bro, remember, people don't know about this. Remember we had the cable box that had the little, like, white thing?
Yes.
And you would change the channels by, like, sliding it over?
Yeah,
bro.
It was almost like an old FM radio. Yeah, it's literally what it was. The same dials. You would turn the dials, and it would just, you'd see the little bar scanning or whatever. I mean, allegedly. You would just allegedly see this little bar scanning over. I'm not too sure, but
that's a legend. That's a
legend,
bro. But here's what happened. So then they upgraded the box from, like, this vertical tower to, like, the round one, and allegedly put a lock on it, and someone cut the lock and
allegedly
ran another wire from it to our house, or at least near our house, near enough for us to allegedly get cable.
Dude, so allegedly right now, if you were to go and dig a few inches around that box, and more towards in our property, allegedly, you will find cable wires that are still dug underground a few inches, allegedly. All of this is allegedly there. But literally, allegedly, there's some going that way, there's some going this way, there's some that went all the way around the house so they wouldn't find it, allegedly. Yeah, no. But no. Now we buy our subscriptions.
Bro,
we pay.
We buy cable, but allegedly there might be a Fire Stick somewhere.
Allegedly, jailbroken Fire Stick, to where we could allegedly watch the movies when they haven't even premiered yet.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
This is all according to legend, the neighborhood legend. Bro, this is up there with the people still searching for the fat lady who fell in the snow.
It's allegedly, if you go around this corner, you can allegedly see some stuff. So yeah, I remember that. That was bad.
Those are good ones, bro.
That kind of reminds me of another thing. So this room we're in right now used to be my brother's room. And right now where this podcasting table is, y'all can't see it, but there was a closet here that was knocked down so that way I could put the table and all that stuff here. Basically where my brother's at, that was part of a closet. So we've never really lived together because my brother's, he's 8 years older than me. And when I was born, I think you lived with us for a little bit, but then you went to grandma's. So basically, I lived alone here growing up. My grandparents, they raised my brother. So when I guess this was my room they gave me after. There was some shelves right there because this whole part, it's probably like 5 feet long, maybe a little bit longer. But it was 3 feet of it was a little closet, just a single door, a little bit wider than the door was a closet. And then the other like 2 feet, there was just a little like square space with a couple little wood planks across that would be the shelves, I guess. And I don't know what he used it for or what was on top, but I know what was written underneath these 2 little wooden planks. And I always wanted to know why it said this. I never knew. Again, we grew up apart, but under these 2 little wooden planks that made the shelf that was there was the words "Die bitch die."
Bro.
And it had been there for a long time because when I remember seeing it, I was probably like 8 or 9, and those wood planks had always been there. But underneath again, it said "Die bitch die," and my brother had already been living with my grandparents already for probably 7-8 years. So, bro, you may have more knowledge onto why the phrase "Die bitch die" was written there. Maybe you don't, but do you? Because I have questions. I want to know why these 2 wooden planks that made my little TV shelf said "Die bitch die."
Bro, what happened is those came with the frame, bro.
They came with the house was already built like that.
Bro, they were built in,
In the
bro.
70s.
Bro, all I can tell you is how many, bro?
How many? Dude. How many?
Bro, I was a jacked up little kid. Like I tell people all the time, listen, I'm not a good person. Don't get fooled. Like, man, I'm on my behavior now because I figured out my actions will cause too many negative consequences. I'd rather not get my family in trouble like that. But I tell my son all the time, bro, listen, son. If superpowers are real, me and Booger are becoming supervillains and taking over the world.
That is very true.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's probably why, bro, I was an angry little kid. I mean, we have enough trauma, bro. That's why we're so funny.
Yeah, definitely. If you guys don't know, and if we haven't mentioned before, I know we say it all the time in our family, like, we're really funny because we have a lot of trauma. If you're not funny, you probably had a pretty decent childhood, which there's nothing wrong with. But it's normally the really funny people, you ask them about their life, and whew, yeah, it can get pretty bad. So if you're really funny, we want to thank you just for surviving and being here, because we know it can be hard. I think that's why we're extremely funny, because we've experienced some stuff.
Yes.
I still it's unclear to me why my shelf said "Die bitch die."
Bro, like I said,
I always have questions.
It came with the shelf, bro. It
came with the shelf.
Photo that comes into the Super Happy Family, bro. That's
Die bitch die in the little wood.
That's why the shelf allegedly came with the shelf.
Allegedly. Yeah, I remember. Bro. So I was little when I first heard this story, but I don't even think I was born yet when this happened. So there's those late night commercials.
No, bro. No. We gotta save this one.
You gotta save it?
We gotta save it for next time. We'll save it for next time. It's a good one though.
All right.
It's a good one.
Questions.
I'm gonna give you a preview. Pick up the phone.
All right. We'll cut it there because I legitimately have questions, but cliffhanger for everybody. I want to thank you guys again for listening, for joining us back on No Milk. We'll have some more stories for you next week, and apparently we have a real good one. Yeah, this happened like probably 30 years ago.
Bro, I'm gonna tell the pre-Jarlhov tales.
Pre-Jarlhov tales. Yeah, it'll still be here on No Milk. So thank you again for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. We're gonna be at it. So yeah.
Bro, this one you better title this episode allegedly.
Allegedly, that's the name of this episode. Allegedly, no milk, 5 or 4 or 6, whichever.